Alright guys, so you saw the original video we put up regarding the comeback of our AE86 Corolla. So I wanted to put something together to show everybody the car. A lot of the guys never seen the inside of it, seen the car in general. I mean, even us, to be sitting inside of this thing after, 15 years. We saw it back in, we visited the car back in 2019. We went to Hawaii. Actually tried working a deal with the guy who had owned it then, who we sold it to, and that kind of fell through. So we basically, we kind of said forget it back then, and that's when we planned on building the other AE86 that we have, which we actually still do have. A lot of guys are asking us, well, what about the original Corolla you were going to build? Well, we still have that car. We have the complete chassis from Chassis Engineering that they they helped put the chassis together for us. So we have the complete chassis kit for the other AE86. We're actually in our new shop right now as well, so it's been hard. The month of July was a tough one. We actually closed on a new house. I had to go pick up the Corolla. We dropped off the red Corolla, which a lot of people didn't know as well, so that actually already shipped to Hawaii. It all had to go down that way in the time frame that we knew our old drag car was coming, and we had to get the red Corolla off to Hawaii. So that's why we kind of disappeared for like a month basically without posting any videos, because we had to coordinate both of those deals. Plus I knew once I got back from picking up the Corolla and dropping off the red Corolla which was going to Hawaii, I had to move out of my shop. So man, it was just one thing after another, and we got it done, which is the biggest thing. I'm glad we were able to reveal that we were able to finally get our Corolla back, which was not easy by any means. My buddy Garrick, which I have to say thank you to Garrick, I have to give him a huge shout out. He is the one that coordinated picking this car up in Hawaii for me and getting it to the port and doing all the legwork to make sure that this thing made it here safe and sound. So, I'm very grateful for all the guys and Garrick, who I've met and I've known for the last 20 years, who have gone above and beyond to help us do the things that they've done for us, and I'm just super appreciative about it. One thing about this business that I have had the luck of enjoying is meeting awesome people from all over the world, and Garrick is definitely one of them. And I want to say again, thank you for going above and beyond and looking out for us and making this happen, because without him this probably would not have happened. So thanks again, Garrick. I appreciate it. You're the man. So we never really started on the original AE86 that we had cut up, and I got a lot of video stuff about that as well, that I'm going to put together a clip of that car and showing the process of it being cut up and everything we went through. And the reason why we stopped was we've been working on trying to get our original drag car back from about August of last year. So March of 19 we went to Hawaii, saw the car there, tried talking to the owner to see if we would buy it back. Talks kind of fell through. October of 19 is when we announced we were going to basically build another AE86, because we knew we couldn't get ours back. And then the beginning of last year, especially with COVID and everything else going on, things kind of slowed down. A lot of people basically were working from home, so we were just trying to really focus on what was important, especially for me and my family. I had to sit and really figure out what was important, and building the car at that time wasn't. And plus we were trying to get our old car back. We just couldn't tell anybody because we weren't sure if it was really going to happen. So now that it did happen, we got the car back. Like I said, we're gonna, once we get our original plan is to get our original AE86 up to 2022, let's say, NHRA regulations. So the chassis needs a lot of updating, and that's what I want to show you guys right now, where we're at. Just show you guys some of the original stuff that was in this car. So You got your old school tack auto meter, which, man, this thing was, I still love this tack actually. I think I'm gonna put it in my Starlet with the 4AG that we're building. You got all your original gauges, which I'm gonna get rid of, probably take all this out. So I'm gonna keep the original dash that this car had because it's different. You don't see a lot of drag cars that have this dash setup. They just eliminate all this and they just put their actual digital dash right here. So what I'm gonna do is I plan on keeping all this. I'm gonna keep the dash. I'm gonna make a plate probably to cover this, and then we'll re-anodize it red or maybe a different color or something, and we'll cover all these gauges since we're not gonna have old school analog gauges like this anymore. And we're probably gonna get rid of the tack as well. So we'll put everything here, probably put a shift light over here pointing straight at us, you know, just one shift light. I'm gonna keep all the switches instead of acting like instead of putting a switch panel like most people do. I'll just keep all this because I like it. It's clean. They're good switches. We know they work. You got your push button for your starter. This was actually for nitrous that we used to run when we had the 3TC back in the day. And so you had your purge here. This was activating the nitrous. And so we won't need that anymore. But again, little cool switches just to have things that are different. Unfortunately, the chassis is not up to par to go as fast as we would like to go. So it needs a lot of gusset braces here. It does not have the roof bar that it needs. So it needs a bar to go across. You got to have at least, it could either go this way, it can go this way. There's a whole host of things we're going to do up there. We're going to add some bars in the back as well and reinforce that. So my next step is to start stripping all the interior out. That's what I'm going to do. It ain't going to run a tunnel anymore. It'll probably be all the tin work and everything will be underneath. So it'll be what you call like a belly pan car. So everything from the bottom will be flat, better for aerodynamics. This will be gone. Still going to stay with the double frame rail. This whole X on the door has to be replaced. You can see the Starlet we have over there that we're building as well for a customer. Check out the old Haltech. So it's got the F98 that we had back in the day. Worked great. You know, Haltech's terminated harness that it used to run. MSD7AL. You got your rev limiter down there. Your two-step module that we used to use. Again, all that stuff worked awesome. Parachutes just sitting here in the car. Your fire tank, your fire bottle, which will probably, you know, probably won't leave that down there. You got your water tank, which is for the intercooler, which I'll show you guys that right now. And yeah, just basically update, you know, I love the Toyota emblem we did back then too. But just basically update the chassis with what it needs, replace some interior pieces, might put carbon tubs in it, I don't know yet. Pedal assembly, firewall we're gonna change, that'll be in steel now. Floorboard underneath here is aluminum as well, that's gonna go to steel. So a lot of little updates, you know, a lot of things that the car needs. It's funny because I had somebody comment on our YouTube page saying that it's a full chassis car and we can't race the old school class. So ultimately our plan is to go back and race the old school class, the same class we raced in the Starlet. Only because it's a funner class. I mean, I want to stay old school. You know, this isn't an old pro stock where a lot of guys in the pro class, in the pro two-rotor four-cylinder class, you know, the cars are just highly modified cars. This is an original 1986 Toyota Corolla body, all steel, nothing's fiberglass. I mean, I still have the window, the door rubbers in it. Rocker panels are still here. I mean, it's an original car, you know. So I'm not going to try and go and race the pro class as much as I would like to. I want to go and have fun, which is our ultimate goal. So me, my family, friends, we just want to go to the track, you know, represent, push a 3S motor. That's the next thing. A lot of questions are what motor we're going to use. It's going to stay 3S powered. That's what we love to race. That's what we've learned. We had to design valve train for the motor. We had to come up with so many different aspects of that engine to make it all work, because we started this 3S project back in like '99, and we had all kinds of problems, broke all kinds of things, destroyed engines, cracked blocks, spit lifters out, spit shims out, you know, didn't realize what it took, you know, spun bearings until we realized we needed a dry sump setup. Just went through all the ups and downs of what it took to get the motor right, and it was tough. But now we got it all figured out. And you know, back in the day, this car went, I want to say it was like maybe 2003, it went 786 at 166. And when we sold the car, right before it shipped to Hawaii, I had told the owner, man, one of the things I would have done if I wanted to put more money into it was narrow the rear end, go to 40 spline axles, gun drilled axles, and put bead lock wheels. So before the car shipped, that was one of the things I did, which he paid for. We took the whole rear out of the car. We took, I believe it was 2 inches aside, maybe 4 inches aside. It might have been 4 inches aside. So we re-narrowed the rear end, put new housing ends on it, and we went to 40 spline gun drilled axles, upgraded the spool in the center section, and we put the bead lock wheels. So when we put that whole setup together, oh, we also put brand new tires on it. So we did all that. The car basically shipped, never ran the car after that. It was basically no longer ours. Went to Hawaii, which was about 2005. 2005, we ended up flying there in March. It was either March of 2005, I believe, 2005 or 2006. And this was the last time that the track was going to be open in Oahu. So here, let's take a look at the car on the outside. All right, so give you guys a better view from out here. And like I said, this thing is all steel, nothing crazy, all steel. Everything is steel. What you guys are gonna see now is I took off the big wing that it used to have on it. So we've had this trunk saved ever since. This car originally had a Pro Stock wing on the back of it, and at the time that we built the bigger wing, everybody was kind of going that way. So if a lot of guys might not know who are watching this, but a lot of the old school guys will remember, you had Fellow, who was the original AE86 3TC powered. He was supercharged. They had these really huge wings. I'll see if I find some pictures or something of the car and put it up in the next video. But it was kind of what people were doing back then. And it basically, if you look a lot of the Pro Mod, American Pro Mod cars, they kind of had these real drastic wings as well. So we ended up taking this off, and we built a wing that attached in the same spots. This tab was actually in here that mounted the trunk to it. This tab is in the same spot, as you could see, except it got bent out for the wing, and we had to extend this for the parachute. So funny enough, I saved this, just one of the pieces that I always figured, man, you know, this car, you know, was in our heart and soul from like 95. And I was like, it'd be crazy if I ever get it back and want to go to a Pro Stock wing. And well, here it is. So it's back on the car. Fits. Just have to figure out these tabs. I might use the spill plates that were from the other wing. I actually have everything saved. I might use all that, but just one of the options of what we might do. The bead locks that went on the car before we sold it, Haltech, always have to give them a big thank you. I can't thank everybody enough for the overwhelming positive support that we've gotten so far getting this car back, man. It's really been over the top, and I'm super excited about it. So here you can see the motors out. Here is the original motor that was in the car. Motor and trans is back there. So there's the G-force that was in it. We actually sold this, and it is going into another car we were gonna build. So stay tuned for what car this is gonna go in, and that's gonna be pretty exciting as well. It's all gonna be built here, so be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for all the new content. Where this engine's gonna go, it's gonna get taken apart, rebuilt, and dropped into a car that we're building for somebody, and will be shipped also out of Florida. This one we hope to test once we get this running. Hopefully we have more time and not on such a crunch time. So intercooler it had, fuel cell, which we're going to change all this. We'll keep dry sump tank. You know, again, we're going to reorganize all this. One of the big things we are going to do to make the old school class is the front end was stretched, we're going back to factory wheelbase. So if you look down there, you can see where the original mounting points were for the struts, which we'll go back to that, cut this off, remount the strut, and we will be legal for the old school class, which is what we plan on doing. There are some full chassis cars in there already, and whether it's a Datsun, whether it's a Starlet, or whatever it might be, the rules state as long as we are 96-inch wheelbase, 87 or older, we can run the old school class, so which is what we plan on doing. So yeah, guys, that's basically a quick tour of the Corolla. I'm gonna constantly keep loading up videos of this car and updates that we're doing. I'm gonna start working on taking it all apart, getting all the windows out, all the interior out, and I will show you guys the updates that we're doing.